I spent hundreds on gifts for my nieces and nephews, but their mom told me I was embarrassing for not spending more. So I made the decision to ruin their lives forever. They're now begging me to stop. Ever since I was little, my parents beat it into me that when I grew up I needed to provide for them. And so, my dream of making more money was always accompanied by the thought of me showering my family with gifts and love. I studied hard in school. I paid over 50% of rent as a teenager, yet I never got as much as a genuine thank you from my parents. Deep down, I think I knew something was wrong, but I craved their approval so bad, I just pushed it to the back of my mind. Fast forward to now. I'm 28, and when last Thanksgiving came around, I was actually feeling really good. For the first time in a few years, I was able to purchase gifts for everyone. My parents, my sister Emma, her husband Joe, and their 3 kids. I even got extra of everything so the kids wouldn't fight over who gets what, plus some more in case anyone brought unexpected plus ones. I convinced myself that this was how everything needed to feel. But then came the bomb drop. I showed up at my parents' house with presents loaded in my car, and when I knocked, my mom answered the door. I expected some sort of hug, or even just a simple, hello, would have been nice. But instead, she hit me with, we think it's better if you don't join us this year. I swear I thought she was pranking me, and I even started to chuckle. But then Emma hollered from the living room, this isn't a gathering for cheapskates. You've become a real drag lately. I just stood there dumbfounded. My dad was hovering in the background, not saying a word. Mom looked like she wanted the floor to swallow her whole. And Emma? She looked downright pleased with herself. I just stared at her blankly, while my body went through the full range of emotion. Confusion, rage, humiliation, everything. But I just nodded slowly and said, all right, if that's how everyone feels, before turning around and going to sit in my car alone, surrounded by a pile of unwanted gifts. They called me a cheapskate? A drag? Where was this coming from? An awful gut feeling washed over me, and I had this nagging feeling that somehow Emma was behind all this, except I couldn't figure out why. So I did what I always do in these types of situations, and asked myself if I was my own brother-in-law, what I am to Emma. Would I appreciate myself? My head instantly flooded with memories of helping with their kids' extracurricular fees, chipping in for their vacation fund when money got tight, and even covering part of their down payment when they bought their house. This left me with a clear answer. Hell yeah, I would appreciate myself. It was at this moment that I allowed myself to get angry. Like, really angry. Enough to decide this wasn't ending here, and enough to march back up to their front door. They were still there, my parents whispering to each other like they were surprised I hadn't just driven away, and Emma sprawled on the sofa, scrolling through TikTok with the volume on full blast. I walked straight in. What's going on here? Why am I suddenly unwelcome? Emma smirked without even looking up from her phone. You think we haven't noticed that you've been slacking lately? Even the kids know they've barely gotten anything from you in months. Honestly, I would have rathered that she slapped me in the face rather than spew that bullcrap, and I couldn't help but raise my voice. Are you kidding me? I have hundreds of dollars worth of presents for your kids sitting in my car, right? But she interrupted. I don't want to hear it. A few years ago when they were born, you did way more. It's honestly embarrassing. I turned to my parents, expecting some kind of intervention or support. Instead, Mom gave me this awkward half smile and said, she's got a point, honey. You just leased that new truck. You found money for that. For a moment, I was speechless. The truck is financed, I replied.